Okay, the session is under recording. I would try my best to finish this, by 12 p.m. Yeah, and
Okay.
as much as slides to be, done. Now you must have seen your. This one is the ATHE level 4 diploma in computing, the course that you are doing. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I've been through it with Raman.
Yeah. So you must have, seen many. I mean, you might have done many of the units before in level 3, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, there were units as well. It was just a
Little bit
bit
similar,
different because
but,
yes.
Okay. So we start with the relational databases, database systems. Yeah.
Yep.
And there is a unit. Yeah. So normally, there are certain unit aims. Yeah. And level, then credit hours, and then there are in every unit. You must have seen the learning outcomes. Yeah.
Yep.
Learning outcomes like understand database management systems, understand database design, be able to design a database system. 3 learning outcomes. Yeah. Now,
Okay.
the most important thing is that after learning these, learning outcomes, you should be able to assess yourself in a way that you should be able to answer these assessment criteria. Yeah.
Yep.
And if you are able to answer these assessment criteria, then obviously you will be able to answer your assignments. Yeah. You will be able to make your assignments, and the examination, the assessment criteria or the assessment method is obviously your assignments feedback. Yeah. If you are
Yep.
able to make the good assignments and with merit, distinction, pass, and that's your target. Yeah. So initially, the main thing is that you should be able to understand these terms, the indicative terms: databases, overview, data types, architecture, data models, data schemas, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
Yep.
So what we will do normally, uh, we will try to catch up one learning outcome and its subtopics into one session, right?
Okay.
So this one is the first session, and let me go through. So the list of topics will be carried over according to the learning outcomes into the unit, right?
Yep.
So perhaps there are about 36 slides. Yeah. And within the 36 slides, possibly, uh, I will be around 1 minute on each slide. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have made this explanatory as well. Yeah. And so that you can revise it again and again and could get each and every concept from there,
All
right?
right. Yep.
So we start with the database. Obviously, do you know something about the database?
A little bit. I mean, a long time ago, I did some work in Microsoft Access, but that was a very, very, very long time ago.
Okay, yeah, that was a kind of one of the database. No worries, yeah. So database is a collection of related data, and data is a collection of facts and figures that can be processed to produce an information. Mostly data represents records, recordable facts. Like, these are the definitions. For example, maybe I should be able to, quickly go through, or, I can skip it. Will that be okay?
Yep.
Yeah. So that Very simple. Database management system is the repository, is a collection of data, and after processing the data, you get the information. Yeah. So,
Yep.
for example, normally when you need to store your related or required data into the file, like Notepad or in Microsoft Word, that's called the flat files. Yeah, it is not easily manageable. You cannot, manage properly, while the database itself, helps you to manage the data, and it can also give you the information. Yeah. For example, if you note down the simple number of student roll numbers or their scores into file, then you have the data, but it is not manageable. But if the same data, number of students records stored into the database, with the help of database, you can process the data. You can ask the database that how many students. It can give you, like, for example, 10 students. So based on the data, you are getting the information as well. Okay, oh, the fact, data itself is a fact, and if you process, you can query the database that how many students count. Okay, they are like a 10, so that becomes information. So this is about a little bit concept of the data, and when it is processed, it becomes information. And database management software allows you to create, manipulate the data.
Okay.
Few characteristics of the database: real world entity. A modern database management system is more realistic and uses real world entities to design its architecture. Like, you can model, you can create the database design of every, for every purpose, isn't it? Like,
Oh, yes, you can.
hospital, engineering, scientific, many more, things. And it is relation-based tables. All the, for example, there is one table of the, college. There is one table of the school. Sorry, the unit. For example, there is one unit of the teacher. You can easily interconnect. You can easily allocate the name, the student, the units to be, taught by a particular student. You can enroll, one unit to particular course. Yeah. So what does it say? There is relationships between the tables. And how it is provided? It is provided because with the help of the database management system. Yeah.
Okay.
Isolation of data and application. So obviously, the database management system itself is an application. Yeah, it
Yep.
does not interact or depend on the data. If you needed just data, you can retrieve it, and you are not worried about that how it is stored into the database. Like, if you have MS Access in front of you, then you are not worried that how it is stored, but the data that you require is straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Less redundancy. Yeah. Database management systems follows the rules of normalizations, which splits a relation when any of its attributes is having redundant values. Redundancy is a concept that if you have multiple records in front of you, right? So by relating, like relating in a sense, if you wanted to use, for example, the list of students, list of courses, list of teachers, then if it is stored into the database, and at the time of accessing that data or storing that data, you will not be repeating the data every time. For example, if I say that there are certain units, for example 10 units in your course, yeah, then in your record, the 10 units will not be stored every time in your table of record, but you will be given a unit number only. Yeah. Okay, that you are doing that particular, units. If there is another student, then the same student will also be indicating the information table of that particular unit. And in every student, the information about the units will not be stored. Does it make a sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So it's about the, redundancy. Then consistency is the state where every relationship in the database remains consistent. Like, it is stored. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, you can query the database. Like you must have seen, that query, like, retrieving the data. So how you will be able to retrieve the data? That will be done by using the query language. So query language, possibly the SQL structured query language. Yeah, and some others. But the most popular for querying the database is the query language. Multi-user concurrent access. The same database can be accessed at the same time by multiple users. Then some administrators, designers, and users, are there. So then types of the database management systems, normally you deal with the relational databases, yeah, but
Yep.
they are stored into the tables, but they can be hierarchical databases, network databases, object-oriented databases. Here is some, information about these databases as well, but they are being taught, on their own. For example, if you are interested into particular, database, let's say network database, then you will have to, study entirely, different, subject. Yeah. But let's say, for example, if you are doing the relational database systems, then you should be familiar with what are the other types of the database management system. They are the network database management system, they are the hierarchical database management system, there are the object-based database systems. Yeah. So just superficially, because I need to go ahead a little bit further, and you can always go through these definitions, and we can discuss, a bit more later. Now, relational database management system, in very simple, the information, the data is stored into the tables, rows and columns, and these are, the object-oriented model. Have you heard about the, have you ever get a chance to study the object-oriented, programming?
No, the most advanced I did was Visual Basic.
Okay, so Visual Basic is it's not the object-oriented programming, it is the object-based programming, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe, there is another unit, programming languages, then we will discuss the object-oriented model, in more detail. So the object-oriented type of databases store the database objects into the from the concept of object orientation. Now, when you are dealing with the database, you need to deal with the relationships between the entities. So entity, for example, if there is one student, it has a relationship with the course. For example, one entity has a relation with another entity. For example, a student enrolls the course. A student has an attribute, name, address, telephone number. The course has different attributes like credit hours, the level, the learning outcomes, assessment criteria, whatever. So this is about the entity relationship model. So superficially, we need to go first superficially, and whenever you wanted to recap, then self-explanatory. I have made these, slides to be more explanatory, the self-explanatory, so that, you can revise these, as much as times, because every subject for the learner is always, new. Yeah. And you can only understand and memorize once. I mean, not with the one read, but you need a few more times reading to make it, understand and memorize by, memorize. Am I right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was planning after we finish with the lesson, I'll go through the slideshow myself,
Yeah.
find information about these things.
Yeah. And obviously, naturally, like these things, databases, possibly we might have studied, the same terms like more than 200, 300 times, in our career, the same wording. Yeah. And when we used to prepare for the exams, then in those days, perhaps 50 times, in a week. Okay, this is, this is the particular definition, this is the particular relationship definition, and these things. Yeah. Okay, so let me go ahead. The relationships could be one to one, one to many, many, one to many. Like, one student can have more units to be enrolled. Yeah. And but one student can have only one course to be enrolled at one time. Yeah. Like one teacher can teach more than one courses. Yeah. So these are the relationships uh, into this way. Then relationship model. Yeah. The most popular data model in the database management system is the relational model. It is more specific model than others. This model is based on first order predicate logic and defines a table in a relation. So basically, the relational model has a column. Yeah. And it has rows basically. The rows are called the tuple.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the relational model is based on the attributes. The superficially it is a table. The relational model is a table which is based on the columns and tuples. Tuples are called the rows. Simple that. Yeah.
Okay.
Database schema. A database schema is the skeleton structure that represents the logical view of the entire database. It defines how the data is organized and how the relationships among them are associated. A database schema defines its entities and relationships. Like if you have a database and if you have a table, how the one or more tables interrelated. Yeah, it comes under the database schema, how they should be stored physically, how they should look like externally. Yeah, this is about the database schema. Yeah. Let's say physical database schema, logical database schema. Anything which is stored into the hard drive, that is the physical, and logical may be like, if you are only interested to view the student ID, student name, and let's say project ID. Yeah. You are not interested to look at the address of the student in a database, then that comes under the logical database schema. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Another, more abstraction, like at the physical level, the data is stored into the files. Then again, the database management system has internal level. Yeah, a kind of internal level that makes, the bridge between the external level and the physical level. And normally what happens, are you able to, 1 second. Until here. Yeah.
Yep.
You can logically divide the levels into 3. Sometimes, they are called 4 levels, sometimes they are called 3 levels. So external level, yeah, and
Yep.
the logical level and the physical level. Yeah.
All right.
So the external level deals with the user interface, and the logical level, helps you to process the information, and the physical level allows you to store the data physically. Yeah.
Yep.
This might be much more clear when you will go into the, in more depth. But so far, let us, just understand that physically the files are stored, and the internal level and the logical level, they allow you to process the data. Yeah. And external view allows you that in which way you want to view the data. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, so some like external level, this is the highest level in the data abstraction, yeah, in the form of rows and columns. But if you are looking at the table into, for example, MS Access, do you think that the data stored on the hard drive, it is again in the table? No.
No.
The reason, the entire physical level is entirely machine dependent. It can be in any sequence. Yeah. So that's why, some concepts have been given that, okay, this is the, particular levels, physical, internal, and, the middle level. Yeah.
Yep.
So now there is another concept, the big data. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah, we are done about 20 slides. Yeah, you are okay with the, speed?
Yes, I'm okay so far.
Okay, good. So big data, the big data is basically really big data. Yeah, because,
Yeah.
I'm going through the one by one topic, like we did the database overview, then database types, and then
Yep.
data models, yeah, data schemas, database management system levels. The next topic is the big data. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me go through the big data as well. It's a collection of large data sets that cannot be processed using traditional computing techniques. The big data is not merely a data, rather it has become a complete subject which involves various tools, techniques, and frameworks. Big data involves the data produced by different devices, applications. Given below are the some of the fields that come under the umbrella of big data. Black box data. Have you heard about the black box?
Oh yes, in the flights, yeah.
Yeah, flights. It says it's a component of the helicopter, airplane, and jets. It captures voices of the flight crew, recordings of microphones, earphones, and performance information of the aircraft. Yeah. So in the black box data, yeah, the big data, it's a concept of the big data. Then
Okay.
social media data, yeah, such as Facebook, Twitter, and these things, they are also come under the big data. Is it? It's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like stock exchange data, yeah, that's also the big data. Search engine data, it's also the big data. So if
Yeah.
we assume normally, yeah, that there are certain computers, there are certain databases, but the search engines, stock exchange, like the black box, they are not dealt with, common database, but they come under the big data concept. Yeah.
All right.
So big data includes huge volumes, high capacity, extensible variety of data. The data, it will be in 3 types: structured data, which is stored in the relational data. Semi-structured data comes in the XML data. Unstructured data is in the form of Word, PDF, text, and media logs. Big data. Big data management is the organization, administration, and governance of large volumes of both structured and unstructured data. And some more information. Here are some big data applications. Banking and securities. Yeah. Security Exchange Commissions. It is used in the Security Exchange Commissions. On communications, media, and entertainment. Healthcare providers. In education, manufacturing, and natural resources. So these are its applications. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then another topic, transaction processing. In computer science, transaction processing is an information that is divided into individual invisible operations called transactions. Each transaction must succeed or fail as a complete unit. It can never be only partially completed. Like, when you do the, for example, one second. For example, if you are doing the payment, yeah, for the credit card payment, so either it will be done or it will not be done. But it cannot be the way that okay, half of the payment was taken and half of the payment was not taken. Does make sense?
May I just ask? So but this transaction processing is not limited to payments, then, is it?
Yeah, it's not related with the payment, but I just gave you the example that transaction processing is a kind of an activity which should either be failed or or completed. Yeah.
Okay.
So transaction processing systems is an information processing system for business transaction involving the collection, modification, retrieval of all transaction data, and it can be anything. Yeah, that's your right, and it is done on the real-time basis. And there are certain operations on the transactions like read item, modify item, write item, and in the database, once you will be doing queries, then there is a commit, there is a rollback, and many things that you can do, undo transactions. Yeah. So there's some theoretical background. I need to go ahead a little bit more on the more transaction things like begin transaction, read item, write item, end transaction, commit, rollback, and these are certain concepts. Yeah. And
okay.
there are some methods into the SQL as well, but so far you should be able to understand that okay, the transactions is related with the activities by the processing system. Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, there might be a sequence of number of chapters in in the indicative content. Yeah. But here are in the course designer they have given certain concept of transaction processing. So possibly this could be introduced after giving some examples of SQL. Once you created the database, then you were given the concept of holding any transaction to be done. Yeah. So no worries. Up to here, we just need to understand at the definition level. Yeah.
Okay.
So there are certain states into the transaction like active, partially committed, committed, failed, aborted. Yeah. Any transaction within the database, even if you are storing the data, yeah, it goes through certain transaction. Yeah. That it has to do. For example, if you have to delete a table, then what it needs to do that until it will not delete fully, it is not complete. Or for example, excuse me, if you wanted to store five columns into one record, like student roll number, student name, student address, student other biodata, and the database wanted to store these five things. Two were stored and three were failed. Yeah. Then what should the database do?
Well, I think then if it fails, then it will send a message that it will say that the transaction failed, and it will go back to the previous state where it was before.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, and even if it was half of them were failed, then partially committed could also be the option that okay, half of the fields are already filled. Yeah, and you need to complete few more few more things which are filled, like when you submit an online application form, few of the fields that you fill in, and some of them are corrected, and some of them give you a red alert that you need to complete those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are also can be considered the partial committed, right? OLTP, online transaction processing, is a class of software programs capable of supporting transaction-oriented applications on the internet. So this is going into the superficial introduction to the things like big data, OLTP, and so just concept. This is the concept of the OLTP. Then there's OLAP, online analytical processing server, and based on multi-dimensional data model. And next topic is the data integrity. The reliability of the management is called the data integrity. The quality of data management is an administration type that incorporates the role establishment, role deployment policies, responsibilities, and processes with regards to the acquisition, maintenance, deposition, and distribution of data. So if you have a data, for example, stored into the Microsoft Word, yeah,
Yep.
and your manager has asked you to store and give you the data, for example, that okay, if you store the one survey of like 100 people, and if he asks you that give me the particular data of for example the people aged over 50, yeah, then maybe you could do the mistake, yeah, that instead of the actual number of people aged over 50, you can miss something. But if it is a database, then it will not make any mistake. So at some point the data quality management is important.
Okay.
Yeah. So integrity of the data is important. Yeah. So this concept leads to you further explore that database should have some quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So database quality control again comes under the some functions like technical quality function, quality measurement functions, like consist of activities of quality requirements, quality specification, and but maybe let me go through the from initial. That information system quality assurance technique is one of the existing popular approaches to achieve the optimum quality database system.
Yep.
It is the process of preparing similar and compatible standards for developing and utilizing the information. Due to the complexity of its activities, the process must follow the systematic approach of being planned, organized, monitored, constantly readjusted, and updated in order to reach the optimum quality. As I gave you the example, that if it is a database, then its efficiency is also the matter. Yeah. For example, you can not use the conventional database for the Google, yeah, because
Yeah.
if it is a normal database, then it will not give you that much, more accessible, more powerful result. So quality is the non-functional requirement. You just need to understand that the database is related, or it needs the quality control as well. Yeah, at the moment, just superficially. Yeah,
Okay.
data integrity is the maintenance and assurance of accuracy and consistency of the data. For example, if you wanted to store the, you know, some alphabetic characters at the field of numbers, yeah, then some accuracy, the checks should be there, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is about the data integrity, reliability, yeah, and there shouldn't be any failure in the data,
Okay.
yeah. So these are some terms, you will only be able to, make it more clearer until you, I mean, when you may not read few more, concepts, and few more, examples, yeah. But until here, we remain little bit limited to the definition, yeah. Data
Okay.
integrity simply is the maintenance, assurance, and accuracy and consistency of the data over the entire life cycle of the database management system. Data integrity is a broad in scope and may have widely different meanings depending on the context. Yeah.
Okay.
Data integrity is opposite of data corruption, which is a form of data loss. So you should be very much, your database should have some integrity. Yeah.
Yep.
So the data shouldn't be lost.
Okay.
Yeah. Data security, you know well that database should be secure. Nobody should be able to enter the
Of course.
database without the proper authorization. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, if you have a database file, simple file is stored on the computer, everybody can access it, can use the data. While if it is in the database, then the database should have the feature to make it secure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are done about 36 slides, and learning outcome 1 is completed.
Okay. Can I ask, will you be uploading this slideshow to the Moodle?
Definitely, and let me end the session. Stop the recording as well. Yeah.